Hello, and in today's session, we are going to discuss different levels of CMMI and the whole journey of CMMI. Nowadays, companies want to deliver products and services better, faster, and cheaper. At the same time, in the high-end technology environment of the 21st century, nearly all organizations have found themselves building very complex products and services. So it is unusual today for a single organization to develop all the components which creates this complex product or service. More commonly, some components are built in-house and some are acquired from outside. So some components are outsourced. Then all these components are integrated into the final product or the service, which is given to the customer. Organizations must be able to manage and control this complex development and maintenance process and integration process. The problems these organizations address involves enterprise-wide solutions that require an integrated approach which will take care of all these complex problems. Effective management of organizational assets is critical to business success. In a sense, these organizations are product and service developers that need a way to change their development activities as part of achieving their business objective. And that is the main base why we need a standardization kind of process in terms of CMMI levels. In the current marketplace, we have different maturity models, standards, methodologies, and guidelines which exist and can help the organizations to improve the way they do the business. However, most available improvement approaches focus on a specific part of the business and do not take a systematic approach to the problems which are faced by most of the organizations. By focusing on improving one area of a business, these models have unfortunately created or came across the barriers that exist in the organizations. In its research to help organizations to develop and maintain quality products and services, the Software Engineering Institute, which is SEI, has found several dimensions that an organization can focus on to improve its business. So what holds everything together? The most important question is, what holds everything together? It is the process or the multiple processes used in your organization or across organizations which allows you to align the way you do the business. They allow you to address scalability and provide a way to incorporate knowledge of how to do the things better. Processes allow you to leverage your resources and to examine business trends. So that's why these processes and the standardization of the processes is very important. Nearly 25 years ago, when the researchers first started the maturity model that led to CMM and CMMI, they took a diagnostic approach. What are the characteristics of organizations that performed good software work? If you ask this question, you'll get multiple models, methods, and processes as answer. Now, all these researchers were following a principle which was mentioned by the Tolstoy. It says, happy families are alike. Every unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. So we have to find out the reasons why that family is unhappy, and the reasons will be different for different families. In applying the Tolstoy principle to software organizations, they looked for those markers that characterized effective software operations and then formed these characteristics into the maturity model. The logic for the maturity model was that to do good work, organizations must do everything right. However, since no one could possibly fix all of their problems at once, the strategy was to determine what organizations were doing and compare that to what they should be doing to be a happy family. Then using the model as a guide, you should start fixing the omissions and mistakes in the order defined by the model. So that will take care of your problems. The CMM integration project was formed to sort out the problem of using multiple CMMs. The combination of selected models into a single improvement framework was intended for use of organizations in their pursuit of enterprise-wide process improvement. Developing a set of integrated models involved more than simply combining existing model materials. So the whole basic thing is you have to look for all the successful organizations, successful departments, successful processes, take all the notes from why they are successful, what things they are doing good, what correct things they are doing, and then create a model out of it so that other organizations can follow that model. The first model to be developed was the CMMI for development model, then which was simply called as CMMI. CMMI was one of the model that combined three source models. The three source models are the capability maturity model for software, SWCMM, the system engineering capability model, SECM, and the integrated product development capability maturity model, that is IPD-CMM. These three source models were selected because of their successful adoption or promising approach to improving processes in an organization. So all three resources, like the SWCMM for softwares, SECM for system engineering, and IPD-CMM for integrated product development, were successful models in their own domain. The first model, which is version 1.02, was designed for use by development organizations in the pursuit of enterprise-wide process improvement. It was released in year 2000, and 2 years later, version 1.1 was released, and 4 years after that, version 1.2 was released. By the time that version 1.2 was released, 2 other CMMI models were being planned, and because of this planned expansion, the name of the first CMMI model has to be changed or had to be changed to become CMMI for development, the original one. The CMMI for acquisition model was released in 2007. In 2008, plans were drawn to begin developing the next version, which is version 1.3, which would ensure consistency among all three models and improve high maturity material in all of the three models. Version 1.3 of CMMI for acquisition, CMMI for development, and CMMI for services were released in November 2010. CMMI has clearly become the worldwide de facto standard for process improvement in the development of systems, including system engineering, software engineering, design engineering, subcontractor management, and program management. All CMMI models reflect maturity levels in their design and content. A maturity level means it consists of related, specific, and generic practices for a predefined set of process areas that improve the organization's overall performance. So if a certain organization is following certain process in a certain way, considering all the parameters of that process, then that organization is said to be at a certain maturity level. The maturity level of an organization provides a way to characterize its performance. The experience has shown that organizations do their best when they focus their process improvement efforts on a manageable number of process areas at a time. So instead of going for the whole organization and all the processes, all the departments to achieve certain maturity level, you should start focusing on department-wise, process-wise, and create your or mature your processes one by one, and which will result into the overall effect at the organization level. A maturity level is a defined evolutionary plate of organizational process improvement. Each maturity level matures an important subset of organization's process, preparing it to move to the next maturity level. So once you have achieved a certain maturity level, then you should try to achieve the next process maturity level. The maturity levels are measured by the achievements of the specific and generic goals associated with each predefined set of process areas. So there are certain set of generic goals and specific goals. If you have achieved all those goals, then you can say that you have achieved that maturity level. So it's a kind of assessment. The 5 maturity levels, each a layer in the foundation for ongoing process improvement, are designated by the numbers 1 through 5. The maturity levels are used to characterize organizational improvement relative to a set of process areas, and capability levels characterize organizational improvement relative to an individual process area. So now we'll go through all the maturity levels one by one. So the first is initial. First maturity level is initial. At maturity level 1, processes are usually ad hoc. So they are not defined in a specific method. The organizations usually does not provide a stable environment to support the processes. That is the meaning of ad hoc processes. Success in this organization depends on the competence and the kind of skill set of the people in the organization, and not on the use of the processes. So how good your members are, staff members are, or employees are, how good their skill set is, based on that your success factor will be defined. There is no contribution from the process level. In spite of these chaos, maturity level 1 organizations often produce products and services that work, but they frequently exceed the budget and scheduled and documented plans. Because of there is no standardization in the process, there is no defined process. You may get success, you may give the products and services which will work, but generally they will either create problems in terms of budget or time duration. Maturity level 1 organizations are characterized by a tendency to overcommit. That means if you can complete that process in 1 month, you will overcommit that, you will complete that product development or service offering within 15 days. And which will create a kind of crisis, and it will be you will be unable to repeat the success of that process. Maturity level 2 is managed. At maturity level 2, the projects have ensured that processes are planned and executed in accordance with policy. The projects employ skilled people who have adequate resources to produce controlled outputs. They involve relevant stakeholders and are monitored, controlled, and reviewed. They are evaluated for adherence to their process descriptions. The process discipline reflected by maturity level 2 helps to ensure that existing practices are retained during time of stress. When these practices are in place, projects are performed and managed according to the documented plans. Also at maturity level 2, the status of the work products are visible to management at defined points, like at major milestones, at the completion of major tasks, at some quarterly meetings, something like that. Commitments are established among relevant stakeholders and are revised as needed. Work products are appropriately controlled. The work products and the services satisfy their specified process descriptions, standards, and procedures also. So some documentation is there in terms of processes. Next is maturity level 3, and that is defined. At maturity level 3, processes are well characterized and understood and are described in standards, procedures, tools, and methods. The organization's set of standard processes, which is the basis for maturity level 3, is established and improved over time. These standard processes are used to establish consistency across the organization. Projects establish their defined processes by tailoring the organization's set of standard processes according to the guidelines. A critical distinction between maturity level 2 and maturity level 3 is the scope of standards or scope of process descriptions and procedures. At maturity level 2, the standard or the process descriptions and the procedures can be quite different in each specific instances of the process. So you can say at maturity level 2, your focus is on individual projects. But at maturity level 3, the standards and the process descriptions and procedures for a project are tailored from the organization's set of standard processes. Another critical distinction is that at maturity level 3, processes are typically described more rigorously than maturity level 2. A defined process clearly states the purpose, inputs, entry criteria, activities, roles, measures, verification steps, outputs, and exit criteria. At maturity level 3, processes are managed more proactively using an understanding of the interrelationship of process activities and detailed measures of the process, its work products and its services also. At maturity level 3, the organization further improves its processes that are related to the maturity level 2 process areas. Generic practices associated with generic goals that were not addressed at maturity level 2 are applied to achieve maturity level 3. So it's an addition to the existing documentation and existing maturity level at 2. The next maturity level is 4, quantitatively managed. At maturity level 4, the organization and projects establish quantitative objectives for quality and process performance and use them as criteria in managing products. Quantitative objectives are based on the needs of the customer, end users, organization, and process implements. Quality and process performance is understood in statistical terms and is managed throughout the life of the project. So if you are delivering any product to any customer, in case of maturity level 4, you will define the deliverables with timestamp at maturity level 4, that you will deliver the design of the product after 3 days, you will design the proof of concept of the product after 6 days, and you will deliver the first product for the testing after 10 days, and so on. That happens at maturity level 4. For selected sub-processes, specific measures of process performance are collected and statistically analyzed. When selecting sub-processes for analysis, it is critical to understand the relationship between different sub-processes and their impact on achieving the objectives for quality and process performance. Such an approach helps to ensure that sub-process monitoring using statistical and other quantitative techniques is applied to where it has the most overall value for the business. Process performance baselines and models can be used to help set quality and process performance objectives that help achieve the business objectives. A critical distinction between maturity level 3 and maturity level 4 is predictability of the process performance. Now, because we have defined some numbers, quantification has been done of the performance, the predictability is more or better at maturity level 4. At maturity level 4, the performance of projects and selected sub-processes is controlled using statistical and other quantitative techniques, and predictions are based in part on a statistical analysis of fine-grained process data. The last is maturity level 5, which is optimizing. At maturity level 5, an organization continually improves its processes based on a quantitative understanding of its business objectives and performance needs. The organization uses a quantitative approach to understand the variation inherent in the process and the cause of the process outcomes. The maturity level 5 focuses on continually improving process performances through incremental and innovative process and technological improvements. The organization's quality and process performance objectives are established and are continually revised to reflect changing business objectives and organizational performance, and are used as criteria in managing process improvement. The effect of deployed process improvements are measured using statistical and other quantitative techniques and compared to quality and process performance objectives on timely manner. The project's defined processes, the organization's set of standard processes, and supporting technology are targets of measurable improvement activities. A critical distinction between maturity level 4 and 5 is the focus on managing and improving the organizational performance. At maturity level 4, the organization and projects focus on understanding and controlling performance at the sub-process level and using the results to manage the project. But at maturity level 5, the organization is concerned with overall organizational performance using data collected from multiple projects, all the sub-processes. Analysis of the data identifies shortfall or gaps in the performance, and these gaps are used to drive the organizational process improvement that generates measurable improvement in the performance. The latest version of CMMI is 2.0. Over the time, CMMI has changed primarily in an effort to make models easier for business to understand and implement. Additionally, the change aimed to make CMMI more cost-effective for businesses to integrate and use. The latest version of CMMI, which is version 2.0, was released in 2018. This version was created for improving business performance and making the model easier to adopt by better leveraging current best practices and building an agile resilience and scale. Further, the CMMI Institute asserts that version 2.0 will improve customer satisfaction, lead to increased customer acquisition and retention, which will lead to increased productivity and efficiency and reduce the risk associated with the CMMI. The CMMI 2.0 has 5 components that are intended to work together to provide businesses with a clear path to achieve the objectives. The 5 components are training and certification, an appraisal, a simplified model for performance improvements, adoption guidance or guidelines, and redesigned systems for online resources and tools. This model is intended to make it easier than ever for businesses to utilize CMMI to improve their overall performance. So that is the end of second session, where we have discussed what is CMM and CMMI, what is the Tolstoy principle, how it was used as a base or foundation for CMMI, and then the history of all CMM models and how they have developed from like 2000 till 2018, which is where when the version 2.0 came into the picture. And we have also discussed all the maturity levels, not in details, but at least we have taken the overview of all 5 maturity levels in this session.